doing it. This is a little bit more than I bargained for, but we are doing this right now. Right here, right now. Hello, everyone. My name is Lee. Welcome to the stream. We should do the thing. Okay, so my stream is what it was on Friday, so it might just say afternoon tea with, let's see what it says, and then we'll change it, and then we'll go from there. I didn't even change it yet. This is fun. But welcome, everyone. We're live because I'm already, late, and because I thought I could, oh well. Life is complicated, and I'm sorry about that. Let me just, oh no, we are not rating a channel yet. We just got started. We also do this. Here's how we're gonna play this. We're gonna do this. We're gonna go to Greyhawk, because, so Greyhawk is a city in the Principality of Ulek. It's actually the capital of the Principality of Ulek, for those of you who know Greyhawk lore. Also, hi, my name is Lee. Pronouns are be, image, vibes today. She or they is fine. I'm pretty chill. Just as long as you remember I'm not a woman. Oh, and we already have Chrome set up. Excellent. So, for those of you who do not know, or are not familiar with, no, that's that one, or my stream, every Monday, I do what's called Good Morning Greyhawk, which is basically just is me going through the wiki. We talk about all sorts of cool stuff in the wiki. Live our best lives, do a bit of editing, make it better, and all that jazz. Those of you who are regulars to my streams know that I always do on stream because it helps with, I don't know, matter of existence. The fact that I never eat between streams, even though I should. All that jazz. We're going to, no. First thing we're going to do is go to here. I have a Discord, for those of you who don't know. Also, feel free to say hi in the chat. I'm kind of keeping an eye on it, and I love it when people say hi in the chat. I'm telling everyone on the Discord that we are, yes, I know I'm sending it to everyone. I know it's a lot. Let's see. And then we go to Greyhawk Online and go to the thing. And remember to do the summoning for Kristoff, because, so, the nature of Kristoff is the head librarian of this amazing wiki that we're using today. I think if I recall correctly, we have a shout out for it. Greyhawk. We do. Beautiful. That brings you to here. Well, okay, it does not bring you to Greyhawk, because Greyhawk is where we start, but it does bring you to the main page, which is not where we start because I have Greyhawk, and we go oh, and I of course do the thing. Otherwise, Sig, if he comes by, I hope he does, will get mad at me for. So we do the Kristoff tradition of that. And we do this, and so we do that. Oh, there's a cat in the yard. Maria will be happy. Anyway, I am actually live now. Focus. So, yeah, we're doing Greyhawk. So, yesterday, we started with Zelred Stool Iron Hills, right? And we did a lot of tweaking, and there was a little bit of a date mix-up, and... Okay, yeah, my hair is a hot mess. I am so sorry about that. We're gonna live with it. So we started with the wiki. No, not that one. Of course, we started with the wiki. That's what we do. So we did Greyhawks. Actually, the second part of this is we go to... Let's try this, and it should go to here, and then we can go to... Ooh, she did Rainbow too. We're not doing heraldry. Anna B. Meyer is awesome. Let's start with this one. 598 maps. Let's see, the 598 version 1 easy zoom. Yeah, I think we want the terrain. Yes, we want the easy zoom version. Anna B. Meyer is amazing, and come on, let it load. This is a very handy way to do maps. So I do this, and then good morning, Christoph, you're here. Also, Sig, hi, welcome. Yes, lay down, go, take a nap, absolutely. Leave me in the background and take a nap. I am fully in support of that. Good morning, Christoph, and let me just do my usual. I have this working. So I actually have Anna's set up. Oh wow. So yeah, I can just so what we have here is the map created by Anna B. Meyer of the Flyness, and if we move it around, we can the Orcish Empire, the Pormage, that's down here. And Grummel is... What the heck's Grummel? I feel like that's... Oh, no, that's a Principality in Ulick. Okay. Cool. It's just the border is a weird color because Pormage is... Ugh. Complicated. Okay, yeah. Wait, is Grummel... No, that's a national border. Hang on, we have to look at the key. Yeah, that's a national border that's red. Hang on. Or is it contested? Alright, we're going to look into this. Frontier border. Okay, national and then frontier. Right. Okay, so... Hostile. Oh, that's a hostile border. Okay. Okay, that's hostile. That is... And then frontier is... Okay, so the that's not a provincial one. That's a... Alright, hang on. Okay. I think we have somewhere to start. So, I usually start with Anna's map because Anna is amazing, and you should check her out and become a Patreon supporter of hers, and just, you know. But I know very little about Greyhawk. I say this in truth. I'm learning. But, a lot of this is just me doing deep dive and learn because I don't know about it. So, I only edit the wiki by, blinking, like reading up and then realizing that 2 pages are not cross-referenced properly and then putting them in better alignment. That's literally all I do. Is make the wiki better fit with itself. That is the only thing I ever do for the wiki, which is very useful and helpful apparently, so we're good with that. And, but, it does, so there's this. That's a hostile border. The peaceful ones are red. Just red, and but the hostile ones, yeah, that's a hostile border. That's a hostile border with well, Orcish Empire, the Pormage. Yeah. Province of Grummel. Is that a province or a... Oh, that's a frontier border. Okay, I see what this is. I think that's frontier rather than hostile. Yeah, because that one's hostile up here, obviously, because... Ooh, there's Seul Temple ruins? That's interesting. That you would not expect that. And then you got... Yeah, and then you got the more... like when you got the KO land, because they're not at war with Kaland anymore. All right. So there was some spat between them in the past. But then it's got here where it's the Pormage. And then you got this one is so you got the Pormage, border with Pormage, and then you got this border here. I believe, hang on, is a frontier border. And then you got this one, which is a national. All right, let me look and see at the map, because I want to figure this out. I'm curious what. Okay, we have more sources than just Anna, so we can look into stuff as well. But I want to see. Okay, national peaceful borders, well-defined borders, poorly defined. Okay, poorly defined borders, and then hostile. Okay. So, well-defined are straight lines. Hostile are... Okay, and... Oh, I see. Okay, so well-defined borders are nice straight lines, and then the ones with dashes are poorly defined borders. I don't know if you can see this. I'm going to zoom in a little more on this one, because... But you see how... Yeah, see how that's the poorly defined borders. Oh, it's over a river. That makes sense. Okay, so we got the... That might be it. Okay, so we got the national border, and we got that one. So we got the national borders, then we got... The hostile ones have dot dash patterns, right? And then the more space dot dash patterns are the ones that are... the spaced out ones are the ones that are less clearly defined. That's probably active war zones, I would guess, would have borders like that, or really, because that's where contested territory sits. So when we go back to here, we got, it's red, dot dash, oh, so spaced out dot dash. So a hostile border and like ill-defined hostile border. And then, well, the river, hang on. Because the river... Yeah, it's red over blue, but there are other borders over river, and none of them ever... Okay, because that's the Jewel River that goes, the Pormage, and, but, like, there's other borders over rivers, right? They're not... That's not the only one, and they don't tend to be that same purpley. This is purplier than... Because that one falls, over the Handmaid River, runs along the border, here with, of Uluk, one on the Uluk borders. You got this one here, Valverdia River. I never remember how to pronounce that one. That goes between Greyhawk and, which one is, oh, Furundi. Uh-huh. I see. Still is a weird color, though, for the national. All right, let's see what we got. So wait, so you said Grammel used to be part of Uluk but got invaded. So you got the border here, and then the border of Grammel, and then this hostile border between Grammel, province. Okay, so Grammel, and then these two provinces are. You said like. So maybe this is is this the former border? Is that why it's all purple? And then they brought in this new border when these two got invaded? Are they kind of their own thing now? Let's look into it. That actually makes some sense. So the hostile... They're definitely not on good terms. Whoever these people Gamel are. Gamel, right? I feel like there's no R. Gamel. I'm adding an R that's not there. Okay, so that's the former claimed border. That's why it's a weird... Okay, that makes sense. So Gamel and the other one... Oh yeah, because this is the city of Gamel in the province of Gamel. That's why it says Gamel twice. Okay. And then this is the province of Grindin. Right. And then Grindin is over here, so it's less obvious that... Okay. They're both named Ne Ogard, and then Ogard is the city, and it's on the X border. So is Grindin, actually. Gamel is a little farther out from the X border. Let's see what the see what the wiki has to say. This is exciting stuff. We found a war zone. I like it. So, for a little bit of context, for those of you who do not know Greyhawk at all, Pomage is, Orcish Empire of the Pomage is a group of hostile orcs who took over large chunks of this area. Scarlet Brotherhood is a whole different thing. They're another group of questionable actors who are relatively evil, and possibly that could possibly be it. True. That is a good example, but in fact, several Ukrainians have started calling Russians orcs because, well, anyway. The vast majority of the Russians are not particularly evil. The vast majority of orcs are, if not evil, in the strictest sense of the word, at least aggressive and do not like humans. So, anyway, the Orcish Empire is here, and they, Principality of Ulik is a Dwarvish kingdom, actually. Fun fact. There are 3 Uliks, and they did not used to be one country. I do not know. I've been trying to figure out why they have this. They have the same name. They just do. So the Principality of Ulik is County of Ulik actually is where the free city of Altamira is, and Altamira is not Wizard of the Coast canon, but it is on the map because the Lord Gazimba himself, who is a famous streamer who's way more knowledgeable about Greyhawk than I was, he'd probably have automatically known all of this. He created the Free City of Altamira on the border of the County of Ulik for a couple of his games, and his games have been going on and off for 40 years in the same continuity. So, 40 years in our time, in the same continuity. So, it kind of became very much cemented, and he's like the local expert, other than Christoph. Really? Wait, there was a county of... There was? That did happen? Okay, so I was looking through all the history, and there was no mention of that. And I mean, Palatal... there was no mention of that. And I kept trying to find out why, and it never made mention of that in any of the frickin' wiki. And I figured it must have been something like that, but no, it didn't say that in the wiki. So if that is the case, then it better put that in the wiki. But we're not doing Ulik, because we did Ulik at least twice or 3 times, because Ulik is fascinating. That's why we start in Ulik, because we start with Greyhawk, which is the capital of the Principality of Ulik. And actually it mentions in Greyhawk that the prince is trading with the... Fair. So, okay, that's fair. That's fair. So, yeah. For those of you who don't know, anyone watching, I don't know if anyone is, but, Greyhawk was originally created by Gary Gygax, a well-known creator, an inventor of D&D, basically. He gets the credit. He did have some help, and there's some arguments about how much people, his people who helped him don't get credit, but he did invent a lot of it, and he also invented Greyhawk. He also wrote several novels set there in the world of Greyhawk, or Orth, it's called. It's a planet. Orth, and then Greyhawk is a city, but also a castle next to the city, and this large free city controls a lot of territory. Conquered Hardby, unconquered Hardby. There was a lot of ugliness between them and Hardby. Now Hardby's back under their control since the Greyhawk Wars, which were a series of wars that did infect the free city a lot. And this treaty there was a treaty signed there to kind of bring everyone together to fight properly. So it kind of got grouped into that. But the point on this was that the Principality of Ulik is a Dwarven-run kingdom. Although, wait, hang on. If they were all one country, like, the Principality of Uluk is Dwarven, right? That is to say, there are a lot of humans. The Duchy of Uluk is mostly human, just full stop. The Principality of Uluk is a lot of humans, at least 40 to 50% human, because humans are everywhere in North. They just are. They grow quickly. They reproduce well. It's just a lot of humans. But all of the high people, the prince, all of his top people are dwarves. And they make up a really good chunk of the population. And then the county of Uluk, which is on the border with Selene, is mostly elven nobility, right? Including Lord Gazumba, the character, who is I mean, possibly? That's a thought. I mean, to be fair, Greyhawk was named after grey hawks, as in the birds. But there are black hawks. Well, I don't know if they actually exist as birds, but they exist in the parlance of things. And albino hawks, probably, of many number. And red-tailed hawks are well known, because red-tailed hawk ridge is my brother's online handle. But red-tailed hawks exist. So the question then is are there other cities named after these kind of birds? That is an important question. That's true, but if it was one kingdom, oh, all right. Oh. Hang on. Right, we do the thing. So we were gonna actually look in the wiki and see what. Sorry, I wanted to give a little background on Uluk, because Uluk is cool. All of them are cool in their own way. Principality is actually kind of fun because it's right on the border, and actually they were getting help from the Sea Princes, who ditched the Iron League to go with the Scarlet Brotherhood, and that's how I even found out the Iron League existed, because I read about that, and then we tend to go down rabbit holes researching Greyhawk. I'm going to bring up the wiki. Here's how we're going to do it. So I'm going to bring up the wiki. Ready? There. Rarex. Pretty basic. Now we go... Go now. I think there are two M's. Hang on. Spelling is important. No. Hang on. Let me check the map and see that I'm spelling this right. Gomel. 1 M. Okay. No. Okay, what about? Alright, well, it's on the map. Let's see what we can find on the, it's 598 map, right? So we should be, let's see what we can find. Okay, we're gonna do some research. Okay, since we're already at Garax, Principality of Uluk, there we go. The Uluk states, does the Uluk states mention that 3 easternmost nations of the Sheldamar Valley, and often take the same position on international affairs. They are in fact 3 separate sovereign nations despite their names. An elven monarch, kind of Uluk is ruled by a monarch who must be part of the druidic hierarchy, county, mainly by humans with large halfling and gnomish minorities. Okay. And the Principality is Dwarven monarch, populated mainly by humans, but dwarves, and dwarves with a significant halfling minority. Okay, so it does not mention that hypothetically used to be the same country. Ah, yes. Living Greyhawk is a whole other... So, for those of you who don't know. Living Greyhawk. I believe it ended in 2008? Circa 2008. Visited the coast, who basically had stopped publishing Greyhawk stuff I used to think it was because when they got the Forgotten Realms started, but it actually was quite after that. I don't quite know when, but they have a few artifacty things like Mordenkainen, and they like drop a few mentions of it in the player's handbook and stuff, but they don't really do any setting work for Greyhawk anymore. It's kind of, and anything they mention from it, they kind of assume that people will know it's from Greyhawk, and then older players will pick up on it, and even the newer players, it doesn't matter if they know it's from Greyhawk or not. But at some point, they just stopped doing Greyhawk stuff. Circa 2008, what they allowed was, hey, well, there's a lot of people who still really like Greyhawk stuff and are invested in the setting and want to, do this. So they kind of deputized, if I'm remembering this correctly, they deputized a lot of local leaders. These were, I guess they were leaders in a way. What they would do is they would create gaming groups, and they were geographically based in Greyhawk, linked up to geographically based in the U.S., or depending on where in the world they were, and they would run games and kind of fill in later Greyhawk lore as living, because they were actually playing at the table, and everything would link together, and there'd be the adventures would, things that happen in one region would affect things that happen in other regions, and the regional directors would coordinate with each other. I'm not explaining it very well, but it was actually a huge effort, and it did end. I think it ended in 2008. I want to say, but it did end, and so Living Greyhawk, and there was a Living Greyhawk Gazetter, which published, semi-official articles about different parts of Greyhawk, and it was thriving until it wasn't. I don't know exactly why it ended, but Wizards of the Coast has done exactly one 5e adventure set in Greyhawk, and they also take Tasha's Cauldron of Everything and Mordenkainen's. They took those guys. Tasha, also known as Igwilf, I believe, was a Greyhawkian, powerful Greyhawkian evil magic user, and Mordenkainen was a well-known wizard in Greyhawk. So they took the names and used them, but they haven't done anything else setting-wise for... yes, 4th edition. Yeah, 4th edition. That's fun stuff. Right. I do not like 4th. I might be biased because when I started playing, everyone I played with hated 4th edition with a burning passion, and therefore I'd moved to Pathfinder, and I was playing Pathfinder with them because they were playing Pathfinder, and I was new to the whole tabletop RPG, and I had no idea what I was doing, and it was amazing. You guys, I don't know if you've ever realized the first time you sit at a table to do a tabletop RPG, it's an experience. You fall in love with it. So Pathfinder was what I fell in love with because that was what I got first, and everyone hated 4E, so it's like, okay, 4E is bad. The earlier stuff was good. Pathfinder's pretty good and close to the earlier stuff. We'll play this. And then, I didn't play 4E, but this was back when I was in college. This was years ago. I was playing, it was when things were happening. I was, playing Pathfinder with a bunch of people at the local game store, and it was amazing. And then I saved up and I bought our local gaming shop. If you will allow me a small aside, our local gaming shop had a thing where you paid $5 for the session, but you got it back in, basically, you got it back in credit to the store. So basically, it was just a promise that you would come back to the store and buy miniatures and stuff, because you got $5 in store credit when you paid up the $5 for the session. So, and you got a little slip, from that served as your pass, and then you could turn it back in for store credit. It was designed to make sure it was kind of a medium between charging people for the DM sessions and also and the use of the space, and not charging them because it's not fair. They wanted to kind of create a medium, so they were like, just make sure you buy stuff. And I'm like, okay. And all of us wanted to buy stuff from there anyway. Like, a lot of us they sold snacks too, and so all of us just were like, always buying snacks anyway. So, it made sense. And most of us were broke, I was in college, we didn't, but I saved up those slips for a bunch of sessions to get the core rulebook for Pathfinder, which I still have. Addie chewed on it, but, so I had to tape the thing. I forgive her though, because she was a puppy at the time, and she's an awfully good girl. And but she did chew on it. She is still such a good girl, and I totally forgive her. And it was still usable. I just recently taped the binding. If it hadn't been usable, I might have been a little more mad, but I still love her. And so I was playing Pathfinder, and then I brought it to my friends, who I played with, who had never heard of tabletop RPGs anyway, and I had to teach them Pathfinder, and I barely knew it, but we learned, we learned together, like you do. And then I had a couple friends who had ditched 4th edition to play Traveler instead of playing Pathfinder, and... Oh, yes, her name is Addie, and she's like the goodest girl. The problem with Addie, she's not a puppy anymore. She's a big girl, but she's still my baby. I can't have her in the house, though, because my roommate is asthmatic and can't have any, like, dander. Anything with fur or feathers has dander, and it gets in her lungs, and she already has a hard enough time breathing, and especially with COVID, like, no, I'm not making that harder for her. So but I was living with my parents, and we had the puppy, and I was, living there full time at the time, and, I was up every morning walking the dog. She was my girl. I loved her awfully much. And then I moved out, and she couldn't move with me, so she's now... she was always my parents' dog as much as she was mine, but she was my baby, And I miss her every day. Athena. Her name's Athena. We call her Addie. She came with the name Athena, but a kind of mutt from... born in Arkansas, and she had mange when she got shipped up, actually. But she was she's cleared up of that. She's healthy and happy and such a good girl. And do I have a picture? Hang on. If you guys want to see the puppy, I know we're getting very off topic for Greyhawk, but we can do this. And I have to actually. All right, let me see something very quick if I can find it. If I can't find it, let's see. It's not in here. Oh no, that's just all the footage from me doing stuff. No, it's not there. It's... Okay, well, that's good to know. I do have pictures of puppies, but no. Not in there. I had it, I know I had it somewhere in my computer, picture that I used, for, it would be in downloads somewhere, and it would be... hang on. Yeah, it would be somewhere in downloads. It's one of these images in downloads, and I do not know which one it is. But eventually I will find it. Oh, these are my cousin's my sister's wedding pictures. Okay, so I don't have the puppy, but pictures I can show you. But I could show you pictures of my brother at my sister's wedding, but no. Yeah. Anyway, I got so off track. This is what... Here. You freaking... Hang on. Boom. There. Okay. But we're gonna go... Alright, so we're gonna look at... So the Uluk States doesn't mention that they have shared history. Which I feel like it probably should, if that is the case. I don't know. Let's see. Heraldry, economy. No. Actually, it could use a little more. Okay, so. Alright, resources, heraldry. 4-quarter design. Alright. Yeah, 2000. So it ended in 2008. Lore's unclear why this changed. Original coat arms blazoned thus. Quarterly. Yes. Languages, religion, population, geography, someone should do. Okay. Hang on. There was more lore in Greyhawk than there was in freaking, or no, hang on. There was more lore somewhere. Hang on. Give me a sec. We're gonna find it. And maybe we should put it here. This might be a project for today. Pomage. Yes, the Pomage. Where's, okay. Do this. Okay, that's Principality. So we have Principality and then we've, yes. Greatly increased in 591. That's where we started with the rumors, which is why we found out about the Lordship of the Isles and the whole deal where they used to be part of the Iron League and then ditched the Iron League, and that's why there are actually problems there. Okay, let me look in the Pormage then. All right, let's look in under Pormage. Apparently, Christoph wants us to do that. Let's see. Pomage. Okay. Yes, the Pomage. Okay, we're looking there. I'm going to here. Stub. We don't. Grad school. Oh yes. Oh yeah, that's the okay. Boom. Geography. Oh, we should add that. Hang on. We should do that. Hang on. Before we get distracted. Okay, sorry, I have to keep an eye on the time because I have a thing I have to do, so at 11, which means I have to, but we have a little bit of time, so let's do this. First thing I'm gonna do is food. Okay, hang on. First thing we're gonna do is fix this. We'll do the Pormage. We'll get there. I promise. First thing we need to do is make sure log in, because otherwise Christoph will yell at us. Beautiful. Now that we're officially recognized as a real deal person and not, okay, so that's edit. Okay. To the east. Alright. Right. Okay. Blah, blah, geography. Lord Mill Mountains. Okay, hang on. The Lord Mill... Is that right? Principality of Ulick is not bordered by Lord Mill Mountains. I mean, kind of. I guess, kinda. I mean, yeah, toward this, okay, fair. Toward the southeast, alright, beyond the, southern part of the Lort Mill Mountains. Okay, we should mention this, the southern tail of the Lort Mill Mountains, because this is, I don't know why it said that. Okay, we're gonna, do the geography here. Here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna go... Okay, so then we go like this. Like this. And then we'll make note. We'll make sure we make notes of it. This is important. Yes. The southern end to the northeast. Okay, you ready? Now, all right, fair, but it only goes to like the very end of, if you look at the map, Yeah, the Lort Mills go for a long way, but look, if you go... Okay, so here, this is Lort Mill, too. This is part of the Lort Mill. And the Lort Mill, and the Lort Mill, and the Lort Mill, all the way up to frickin' Lor Ridges, which I think is just the hilly part of the, like, up in frickin' in Bissell and that area is also the Lort Mills. And then these are other mountains. What mountains are these? Those are the... Oh, Yentl. Yeah. So it's the Yentl over there. But this is Lort Mills are here. So yeah, it's a long way. But my point is, it goes down to here. All right, and then okay, this kind of area is mountainy, but that's not. Yeah. So this part is sort of mountainy, and then, but it's not the border. It goes right through the country. This little southern part. It's on the border up here, but like. Yeah, Pomarsh. Yeah, this is the very tail end, though. It doesn't even... I mean, even if you argue that it goes down to the Basque-Gyrics, it's still the very tail end. And it really only borders in the northeast. This part isn't really bordered by the mountains because it's on the other side of the mountains, if at all. You know what I mean? I mean, I don't know how mountainy this area is. Okay. Alright. But, yeah, the range is very long, but only the very tail end of it comes into the Principality. And that's important because of the wonderful things he does. Sorry, no, I'm not the Wizard of Oz. That's why, I know, but it kind of implies that it's there, so I wanted to clarify that it's not the entirety of the border. You know, it doesn't, which means it wasn't wrong, but it was, there was some, you know, and it didn't mention that the Pomarge is right there, which I feel like is important, that it's right next to Pomarge, especially if there's a hostile border, like there's war, like, it's worth mentioning that the Pomarge is right there. Yeah, so it wasn't wrong as such, but I felt like it could be clearer, and that's what we do with the wiki, we make it clearer and, yeah. To the northeast. Across the mountains. On the other side of the mountains. And stretching. The T. Stretching south. Edge of the mountains. The rest of the eastern border. Okay. Yes. Boom. Alright, now we just save changes. And... yes. Pomarge is... okay. There we go. So, a little clearer. And also the fact that it borders the Pomarge is important to note for any alright. Alright. Sorry. Alright, so we got that. Let's see if there's more in the Pormage. Yeah. No, this was, not the Ulick states. The Principality of Ulick. So if you look here, like, yeah, the Ulick states kind of are all, you know, the eastern, kind of right around the eastern mountains. The county and the, actually the duchy's over here. No, duchy is, where's the duchy? That's the county there. And the duchy's here. Yeah, okay, so duchy and county and, the duchy's up here, the county's down there. Yeah, they all are bordered by the eastern part, and at least in some small part by, yeah, no. I believe me, yeah, no, that was the Principality of Ulick. Actually, though, the Pormage, the border with the Pomarsh, actually doesn't really stretch. Like, the county of Ulick has, like, a little bit of a border with the Pormage, but mostly, county is partly Pomarsh and partly Saline. It's a pretty solid border, but it's hostile, which makes sense, because elves and orcs traditionally do not get along so well. There's a whole history. Yeah. I was editing the Principality, specifically. The how the important ones on the border, like what? Okay, that may make sense. Also the Sus Forest, and then Altamira. I was talking about Altamira, earlier. Not official canon, but Anna put it on the map because she and Jay are also very close, and he has her on his sheet. I actually wouldn't have heard about Anna and her amazing work with maps if it wasn't for Jay and his, constant work in Greyhawk, and I wouldn't have heard of him if it wasn't for Blue Box and his shouting out Jay as being awesome. And I wouldn't have heard of Blue Box if it wasn't for Rory, one of the Blue Box people, who was my DM for a little bit in a kind of since defunct Discord server called Varsphere's Adventuring Academy, which is kind of awesome. Which, kind of awesomeness. County of, okay. Yeah. But I feel like, I know the county does border it a little bit, but I feel like the Principality, the entire eastern border is Pomarsh. So I feel like that's worth, mentioning. Okay, right. So we did that. Now we do the thing. That's Olenstad Korand, who's the prince of the Principality of Ulick. Okay, we're gonna go to the Pomarsh. Oh, that is not terrifying at all. Okay. Or the Orcish, Pomarsh can either refer to the large peninsula located in the central of Flanass, or the Orcish Empire of Pomarsh located in the same region. Okay. Fair. So, if they took count as the peninsula, Pomarsh, the orcs control the entire peninsula, so, worth noting. Probably not worth, the disambiguation, because, they control the area anyway. Like trying to argue Massachusetts Bay as separate from the state of Massachusetts, which it is. Like, Massachusetts Bay is the bay, and Massachusetts is the whole state, but it encompasses the entire bay, so, same theory. For those of you familiar with American geography. Okay, so, Pomarsh. Here we go. Government. Okay, so history. Mainly a desolate region populated primarily by Flan tribes, people who revered equally primitive deities of earth and sky. Eventually, small numbers of outcast Suel settled the region. The region received little notice from the rest of the world for centuries, remaining largely isolated. Okay. That's why there's a ruined Suel temple. Right. Let's see. In 295, King Kavish of Kaoland and the Prince of Uluk, seeking to exploit the... Whoa. Okay. Hang on. This is 295, right? The Prince of Uluk. Hang on. Okay, so it is probably the principality. Okay, but like... raised an army to invade and subjugate the region, an endeavor which accomplished in the span of a few years. Okay, hang on. This is new information. All right, and freaking... Okay. Sorry, I'm trying to keep an eye on the time, but also... This is a big thing. Okay. All right. Okay. This is... Okay. Roughly a dozen small baronies, which were awarded the favor of family of Kyoish throne. These subfiefs were administered by and under the protection of the Principality of Uluk. Okay, what? That's worth noting on the Principality of Uluk. State that they used to control the Pomage before the orcs took it over. That's a. Okay, hang on. Let's see what we got here. And then if it mentions Gomel, specifically the border province. But okay, hang on. Highport. Okay, hang on. Highport. Let's see. Highport. Is in the Pomage. The former capital city of the Pomage razed to the ground in 513 following the Hateful Wars, before being rebuilt in... So wait, this was as recently as 513. This was part of the freaking Principality of Uluk. That's a thing. Okay. That's... Wow. Okay. Hateful Wars. Right. Alright. That I did not realize was a whole thing. I thought the Pomage was there. Right. But, hang on though. Yeah. But, hang on. Let me show the map though. If they took the whole peninsula up to Highport, right? Which is up here. Highport is here. Then this part of the border is... Because, here's the thing. These two provinces are outside of the... Like, if they'd once claimed the whole thing, they would have put the border over here or something. Like, near Stoneheim or something. But this particular... I feel like there's a specific reason this particular border is the one that's drawn in. Like a whole... Because that's a whole... Well, I figured they'd once controlled those two provinces, and then, I figured those two provinces, but I didn't realize they controlled the whole frickin' peninsula. That's a whole different thing than just controlling two extra provinces and then having the orcs come in. That is a frickin'... Okay. Yeah, because control two extra provinces and then the orcs invade. Sure, but control the entire peninsula and then get it razed to the ground within the last century. That's a lot. Very different. But I see what you're saying. Okay, hang on. Highport is there. Okay, cool. Okay, 1461 had withdrawn from Kielan to gain Palatate status. The barons of Pomage at this time. Oh, right. This is when the principality was part of... Okay, right. So there's a whole Kaolandish covering the principality for a whole thing. That's another... Okay, we'd have to weave out when that took, That's back on the history of the... There's a whole thing with that. But, let's see. Okay. Barons of the Pomage at this time, being subject to the Prince of Uluk, had no Nicole Draw. Okay, which one was that again? Kaoland. Right. When it was... Okay. Dissatisfied with the position, the Pomage barons broke with the Principality. Okay, 463, declaring their own independence. Alright, so the barons... ejected the prince's dwarven garrisons and declared Highport their capital. Despite this apparent unity, however, each baron ruled as a state independently, and feuds were common. Okay, so they were a loose collection, a confederacy. Okay. Many barons assigned themselves grandiose titles, such as Archbaron, Duke, or Prince. The Baron of Sudenham even went so far as to have him King of the Drakengobs. Sudenham. When is Suderham? Okay, where is Suderham? This is an important question. Band of slave traders known as the Slave Lords. Okay. That is, boom. And that is not helpful. Okay, Suderham. Where is Suderham? Let's find it on the map. It doesn't quote Suderham. Okay, probably on the coast, right? They're purple squid hobgoblins. Okay. Orstad, Chitterlin Orcs, blue wolf Gongbar. Okay. Where is Suderham? Suderham. Let's see, is it marked? Slaver Stockade. Okay. Slave Road. All right. We're getting closer. Oh! Drakkengrab. Here it is. Drakkengrab is here. So if he's the king of that, they must have been somewhere around here, right? Drakkengrab. I think that's the hills. Oh, so it's the hills. So, oh, there's Stonheim. Oh, no, the Stonheim. Not. Okay. Highport, Lost Feral. We should find out where that is. Sus Road. Of course. Very sus. This is just goblins, hobgoblins, orcs. Okay, so meteor hobgoblins, orcs, kobolds. All right, that's who lives where. Fenrel, Slaver Stockade, Hills. Okay. Okay, so the Worm's Jaws Mountains and the kind of come out of the Drakkengrab Hills, kind of surround these mountains that are... Okay, it makes sense a little bit. Twisted Forest, Eastborough. This is... Okay, so we need to find out... That is not marked on the map anywhere, so that's worth... Okay, that's the facts. That's... Hang on, wait. It goes up to... Safeton. Okay, so this is where the Wild Coast, Safeton, and all that come down here, and then... So where exactly the border... Okay. The Wild Coast, which is Narwhal, Safeton, and I think a few other... or maybe it's the other... Brightlands. Okay, so that's a completely different empire. All right, so Cantona, I thought... Oh, Cantona was... Cantona at least in the 70... Hang on. We're going to do a historical comparison here. All right, I'm going to have to end the stream soon. Okay. But, like, this is a lot, and we are learning stuff. So, this is... Okay, but let me check something real quick, because on the map... not this one. This one. Thank you for being patient with me while I learn. Okay, so the 98. Nope, we want to go back one, and nope, menu 76 maps. That's what we want. Easy zoom. This one. We want this one. 576. So hang on, 576. Okay, hang on. Homage. Okay, 5. No. Okay, so. They were taken, according to the maps, right? Sometime between 576 and 590. So they were the most recently... Okay, so they... As of 576, those two were within the border. After, they were not. Okay, this is an important detail. So, okay, the border as of 576. So after the whole collapse. So much more recent incursions then. But nope. That's not the one I want. I want this one so I can do this and move the map around. Move out a little bit. Homage. Actually, I want to go down a little so we can see. Yes. There we go. Now, let's see. Celine, Canton. Okay, so this, the facts, Badwall, Elred. Okay, so the peninsula, the border of the... So here's the question. At what point did the orcs, because this is in the 580s, somewhere between the 570s and 590s, so 580s, at some point during the 580s, the orcs of the Pomage took, according to the maps, now, there might be a bit of a bit, but they took, let's see, Elred, Badwall, and Fax were just, and large chunks of Cantona were just, and the Elven lands were just kind of conquered by the orcs of the Pomage during the 580s? Like, that's a lot. I think that's worth getting into. Okay, that's 580s. We'll get to there. Maybe I have to do a whole thing on the 580s. Okay. Let's see. This is a 460s. Okay, so 498, the Hateful Wars began as an alliance between Selene and the Ulic states that sought to drive the orcs, goblins, and other even humanoids from the Lortmill Mountains. Okay. Hateful Wars, burn around 500. Prince Wulak invited the former barons of Pormage to join the alliance, but the lords of the Pormage refused, fearing reabsorption into the principality and seeing little reason to involve themselves in what they viewed as a chiefly conflict between non-humans. Selene and the Ulic states, because Selene was the Elven kingdom, the fairy kingdom, which was the Elven. All right. By 510, the Hateful Wars were over, but this conflict would have great repercussions for the Pormage. 513, hordes of starving orcs, goblins, other creatures from the Lort Mills, having few places to hide from their elven dwarven foes, fled to the Pormage, emerging from the Sus and falling upon Highport in a destructive rage. Right, that's when Highport was raised. Right. Okay, so, this is important. I'm getting there. After 6 assaults on Highport city gates, the city eventually fell to Orcish armies. This is known as the Night of Bloody Spears. In a matter of months, all of the former baronies, save the hidden city of Suderham, that's why it's not marked on the map, because it's a hidden city, also fell to the humanoid invaders. I wonder where it is. I should try to find out where it is at some point and mark it on the map. I mean, it's a hidden city, but also I feel like I'd like to know where it was. Curiosity of personal nature. Okay, so over the next few decades, the Pormage became essentially a backwater filled with orcs, goblins, and other evil creatures. It was a haven for human bandits, pirates, slavers, and other criminals. Various humanoid tribes carved out territories. Any good humans left as slaves. Lived as slaves or else waged a losing guerrilla war against the invaders. Okay, so they became rebels instead of actual people. They either became criminals or tried to rebel and ended up as a feudal rebellion of By 574, the last king of Suderham was assassinated by the slave lords who turned the town into their base of operations. The slave lords managed to bring much of the Pormage under their control, but by 580, their power was broken after bands of adventurers hired by Lord Girnat disrupted their operations and leadership. Oh, Scourge with the slave lords. Right. So the slave lords fell, but the area was still controlled by orcs. So, okay. Suderham, assassinated by... Okay. During the Greyhawk Wars, 82 to 84, powerful orc chieftain Trashmak united Nedla and other humanoid tribes of the Pormage and invaded the surrounding lands, bringing much of the wild coast and principality of... Yes. Okay, this is where... Greyhawk Wars. Right. This is where it happened. Okay. Yes, the wild coast. Right. That's why he took the... Okay. Now I'm seeing this. Okay, now I understand. I'm learning. Shush. Okay, sorry. I know. I should have known all of this. I know. I'm learning about Greyhawk, though. Okay, so this is this. Now, I feel like it's worth mentioning in the Principality page that, actually, the whole thing under Kaoland, when it broke off from Kaoland, there's a whole... Why? Never mind. Point being, if they were... When did it... Okay, 413 is when the orcs took over, right? Hang on, let's look at... Okay, I'm gonna have to... Oh, yay. Okay, there's so much to... Alright, you're gonna have to remind me. I'm gonna write it down on the way. I'm gonna write it down on my Discord so I do not forget. And we're gonna put it in with exclamation points so I do not forget that Greyhawk is happening. We're doing the Pormage. That we're doing this. We're going to figure out what the deal with the Pormage is, and we're going to write up a better history and mention in Ulic that they used to be freaking run the entire Pormage. That's worth noting. Should be in the Ulic page as well. And then try to figure out when those two last ones were. Somewhere in between probably during the Hateful Greyhawk Wars. Is my guess. And the Principality of Ulic under his control. The empire where none has stood, the Orcish Empire of the Pormage. Though much of the land west of the Jewel was reclaimed by the Principality of Ulic in 586, hold power in the region and his empire shows no sign of decline. Yes, exactly. We're gonna go back and we're gonna figure out... Okay, so, this is what happens with... Okay, so, you ready? In the region, okay, so... in 586, Turash Mac continues to hold power in the region and his empire shows no sign of decline. Okay, so, if we look at the map, 86, these provinces, I mean, he didn't take a lot of the principality, but he took, so 586 is when, hang on, when did they take, because there's probably a whole shenanigans. Okay, so, these two, he took a lot of the Wild Coast. Yeah, he took up huge chunks of the Wild Coast. But, let's see. Highport, Pomarsh, right? So, let's see the exact nature of this. Okay. All right. So, okay, 513 is when the first thing. Okay, so 582, the Greyhawk War. Greyhawk Wars was 582. 582 to 584. That's also when Hardby kind of really officially went back under Greyhawk, which is kind of a whole thing. They were, yeah. Okay, powerful orc named Trashmak, United Nedla. Okay, that maybe shouldn't be a link if there's no links to. All right, so 586. Okay, what? Okay, so 586, they fought a war to reclaim in the region. So 582. So if they were, these two provinces were part of in 576, right? You ready for this? This is 576. Okay, pre-Greyhawk Wars. That's all part of it. And now post-Greyhawk Wars. Let's see. We do... No, not that. We do this. We can actually get both maps at the same time if we do this. I don't know how poor Bailey does not have a lot of RAM, but I think she can handle... They can handle this. Yeah, you can, Bailey. Come on. They can handle this. I'm sure of it. Okay, here we go. Ready? So, Deerfield. Okay, so... so these three provinces were probably the ones taken, I'm guessing, and then they were possibly retaken in 586. Okay, it said most of... I feel like it did not... They took 2 provinces at most. They didn't take large chunks of Uluk. I feel like most of the Principality of Uluk is a little bit of a miss. We're gonna... That's assuming this is all they took, and they didn't also take, like, Deerfield, and that got back properly. I'm pretty sure, though, that they didn't. So what we're gonna do... Well, actually, we could go to the Greyhawk Wars and figure out how much they took exactly. And what got taken back. We should probably do that. Greyhawk Wars. Okay, see if there's anything in the Greyhawk Wars about what... Okay, happened there. Alright, well... I use, yep. Yep, right, it was, they brokered the final truce in 84. Well, okay, that's very not helpful. I mean, it's vaguely helpful, but no. I mean, yes, but all of those baronies had broken away well before the frickin' Greyhawk Wars. The barons, had already been conquered before, when they got conquered during the Hateful Wars. So, during the... Right? So, I feel like if they got conquered during the Hateful Wars, let's see, 74, Empire when none stood. Yeah, so west of the Jewel. Okay, hang on. West of the Jewel. Let me look at the where's the Jewel? Yes. Okay, hang on. Where is the Jewel? Is this the Jewel River? West of the west. Okay, so west of the Jewel is this stuff is west of the Jewel. Right. Which is Gomel, Neogard, and Grindon. Depends on how much they got. I mean, they might... Did they get all the way to Havenhill? That is a question. I do not know. and it would be worth noting. We will, okay, there's very clearly a lot we do not know. And a whole other avenue of history of Greyhawk that I had no idea existed. So that's cool. Learn new stuff. That's true. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's why. Yeah, that is also true. Okay. Theory. Here's the plan. In the stream for now, because I have to do a bunch of stuff, and then I have a game at 11, and also I have prep work I have to do, and I have to check in with one of my players who still hasn't done their character sheet yet, so we have to work on that. And so I should probably go in at least 20 minutes early, which gives me not a lot of time. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to shut down the stream. And thank you all for coming to my stream. And I really appreciate it. And thank you, Christoph, for directing us toward the Pomage, because now we have something really interesting to look into. And we will, next week, do the same thing. We're going to dig into this. We're going to tweak the notes. We're going to tweak the Ulik page to mention that they once controlled the entire Pomage. Like, that's worth noting. And, yeah, go from there. So, Bob. And I think we're going to do a raid. I think that would be a wise thing. So let's see what we're doing with raiding. I'm going to go with, let's raid into Brush for Hire. We haven't raided into Brush for Hire for a while. And I haven't, pop in, say hi, watch some art. It's a vibe. I appreciate y'all coming, and I will see you soon.